introduce you, and then I'm going to invite you to introduce yourself. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, so let me actually set the tone while we're going live. Okay, I'm going to stop your video.
Okay.
All right. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. Give me 1 second. All right. All right. Peace and greetings. Peace and greetings. We are here today with another fabulous podcast episode of Rise of the Divine Feminine podcast, which has been streaming and running for 3 years now. Rise of the Divine Feminine podcast is all about helping you to understand what the principles and tools are, the resources that help you as you explore your feminine, increase your femininity, as you become more of who you are and who you were sent here to become on this planet. So today's podcast is a very special episode, simply because we have a special guest who is an elder in the community and who is an expert on a particular subject that is going to help you with your tools and help you to advance. So this particular guest has been leading seminars, classes, and workshops around the world. She is a renowned speaker. She is an author. She is a spiritualist. She is an elder. She is so many things and more. But for the purposes of this podcast, she is going to guide you on all the things that you need to know about moon energy. It is so important for us as women to understand our direct coalition and correlation with the moon. And she is here to teach you how to do that. I want to welcome now to our podcast the one and only Queen Esther. Queen Esther. Greetings.
Greetings, beloved. I want to meet that woman that you're talking about. She does this, she does that, she does this, she does. I want to meet her, okay?
Give thanks and praise. You already have such a personal relationship with her. She is just magnificent, and you are magnificent. And I'm so grateful that you agreed to be here for this podcast. Now, I will tell you, listening audience, where Queen Esther is in this moment. She is in West Africa, and it is 3:40 a.m. It is 3 o'clock in the morning, and y'all can see that she is all that I have said and more. Look at the regalia, okay? Look at it.
Amazing. And look at yourself, look at you, beloved. All Carol, come on now, lips, Lotus in the background. We are celebrating life. How awesome in the midst of it all. Give thanks for inviting me.
So, Queen Esther, let's start with a little introduction, because I know that there are so many things that you are working on, so many things that you are, and so many things that you have been over the years. But just tell the listening audience a little bit about who you are and why you do the work that you do.
That's a good question. So I will start at the very beginning, okay? Yes, Queen Esther. Esther is the star of joy, the star of hope, and the star of love. And that's what I've been about in my life. And Queen Esther was one woman who had the courage, who had the listening, who had the support to help free people to free her people. And that's what I'm doing in this time. I want people to be free. I want people to be awake. I want people to enjoy their lives. I don't want people to be caught up in the illusion, because the sun is not an illusion. The moon is not an illusion. Nature is real. And I want us to have a real life. And that comes with letting go of all the preconceived ideas and things that are holding us back keeping us dissected and missing the beauty of this life, you know? So I've been just praying to find the way to help free people, how to wake them up. And the moon energy came as a tool that I could use to help, first of all, unite people, and especially women, because women are the center of the house, the center of the family. We're Mother Nature, we're Mother Earth. And when we're in alignment, we help to get everything else in alignment.
Shane, that's beautiful. Thank you. Queen Esther, since we're going to jump right in, I would like to take it from the top and then work our way down. And when I say the top, I want you to give us an understanding of what does the moon have to do with us? What I mean, I'm a woman, I eat food, I cook, I wake up, I go to work, I do my job, I go home. The moon, what are you really speaking about? I don't really understand what is the connection, if anything, with me and the moon. Can you explain a little bit about what you mean?
That is such a good question. And I'm so happy because I always strive to bring clarity, because the more clear we are, then we can actually move forward. I've done a lot of work with Queen of Four, Sacred Women, just elevating women through the gateways, through knowledge, to become wise women, medicine-aware women. And the work of the moon came. I'm a founder of Healing by the Light of the Moon, because we all have a moon cycle. We all have a 28-day moon cycle. Our cycle has to do with our reproductive cycle. This is the rhythm that women have, whether they are aware of it or not. And the moon is also on a 28-day. Now, everything really for me is about rhythm and alignment. And if we just think for a moment that the earth is revolving every 24 hours, the earth is revolving. But every 28 days, the moon is orbiting the earth. So you got two shows. You got the moon, you got the earth revolving, you got the moon orbiting, okay? Mars is doing another revolution. Jupiter has enough. All the planets have their own revolution, but everything is in rhythm, while everything works in harmony. So when we're in rhythm in our lives and with ourselves, then we're where we need to be when we need to be there. So our life moves in harmony. So just breaking it down, just to be clear, there are 7 days in a week, okay? We call it a strong, but there are 7 days in a week. There are 14 days in 2 weeks, 21 days in 3 weeks, and there are 28 days in 4 weeks. Basic. So if there are 28 days in 4 weeks, then where did we get the 30 days and the 31 days? And that's the man-made addition. That's the GMO. That's what Julius Caesar did to add more days to his calendar. But we as women are revolving on the 28-day menstrual cycle along with the 28-day moon cycle. So this is just to help us get in alignment, back in alignment with nature, okay? And when we're in alignment with nature, we're in alignment with ourselves, with our families, and with the universe. How can you be in alignment with anyone if you're not in alignment with yourself? I am the first person. And we are part of nature, whether we know it or not. In the morning, the sun is out. It affects us. At night, the moon. So this is just connecting the dots. We don't have to make nature something over there. We are part of nature. We're breathing oxygen. Our bones are as of earth. We have sunlight in our body. We are a part of nature. And when we come forward to that, then we can get a natural rhythm, natural time. We can become natural again and stop getting so discombobulated with so many things that are taking us away from our natural selves. So with Light of the Moon, many people are aware of the full moon. Okay, everyone can see this big full moon. No one can deny it. The full moon is only one of the phases. The moon has 8 phases, okay? So in the teaching, I will teach you, many people know about the new moon, when we begin new things. So I will teach you about the new moon. The next phase is the crescent moon. The next phase is the first quarter moon. The next phase is the gibbous moon, and the fifth phase is the full moon. And once the moon is full, then it begins to descend into the disseminating moon, last quarter moon, and the balsamic moon. So the moon has 8 phases, okay? And just to be aware, we now can kind of align. What do you do on a new moon? Start new. Clean the house, clean the refrigerator, clean the car, clean out your purse, get organized, write down your goals, plant new seeds. Let's get in tune with nature. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's one of the things that I was really intrigued by because like you said, the full moon is so popular. Everybody knows about the full moon. They got full moon ceremonies, and even people who are not spiritualists have full moon rituals and different things that they do. So, for many of us who are in tune with the full moon, I'm oftentimes very, very, very puzzled because many of us still don't know what this means. We take the time to do our rituals on the full moon, but not really understanding the gravity of the moon, not really having a relationship with the moon. So the question I wanted to ask, I know you mentioned a lot of different things about nature, and we're going to get into that. You mentioned healing by the light of the moon, and I know that you are the creator of Healing by the Light of the Moon, and that is your book, but we're going to get into that and learn more about that. But I'd like to continue to go from the top and then whittle down. And the first thing I want to know is, how did you learn about the impact of the moon? How did you develop this relationship with moon teaching? Who taught you, or how did you learn? And then what was the significance in your primary relationship, your first types of interactions with moon energy?
Beautiful. Well, my first real interaction with the moon was when my mother used to say, "You can always see me in the moon." And I was like, what does she mean by that? That was from my very early days. You can always see me in the moon. Then I had another very good sister. Her name was Badahaba. Her name is Badahada, which means daughter of love. And I met her on the bus one day, and we just connected. And she was just unique. She was different. She was in her culture, but something connected. And so when we started to travel around together with her and her family, she would say, "Oh, it's the full moon, Mother Moon." And she would just get so immersed with this moon energy. It was like everything for her. And I was like, well, I saw the full moon, but I didn't feel it the way that she did, but she was like, "Oh no, Mother Moon." And so she really brought it to life, Then some years later, and this is like some years back, I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was invited to a moon ceremony with Queen Yen in Atlanta. And she did readings and meditations on the new moon and the full moon. And it just resonated. And then months later, I said, this moon energy is coming up again. It keeps coming through. But the most important thing for me about the moon is it's a way for us to unify. I was in Kemet in Egypt a few years back. And it was 2:00. We were just coming off the boat off the Nile River. And one of my students called me from New York, and she said, "Queen Esther, it's 7:00 in New York, and we are looking at the full moon." And I'm like, "It's 2:00 in Egypt in Kemet, and I'm looking at the full moon." And I'm like, 7:00 New York, full moon, 2:00 in ancient Egypt, full moon. Well, here we are together looking at the full moon at the same time across the globe. So whether we're in Canada or Nebraska or Jamaica or Hawaii, we can all look at the full moon at the same time. And for me, this is the point of unification. And especially for women, because our menstrual cycles, our reproductive cycles, it's all connected to the moon. So I said right there, without the technology, without your computer, without your cell phone, we can all look at the moon at the same time and be connected across the world at the same time without technology. This is monumental. This is revolutionary. And this is unity through nature. I call this unity through moonity. Ashe? So
Ashe.
the rhythm, when you put the music on, everybody has their own dance. Yes, when you put the music on, everyone has their own steps they're doing. However, we're all on the same rhythm. And that's what, when you hear the drums, some people are going this, some people are doing that, people are doing everything, but we're on the same rhythm, and all of nature is rhythm. So, when you get up in the morning, it's sun is out. The cock-a-doodle-doo, it's morning. At night, it's more meditative, time to rest. The stars are out. It's evening. So at midnight, you don't get up and start washing clothes at midnight. Sometimes you do, but you don't get up at midnight and start running the vacuum cleaner. It's time to relax, take a hot bath, get some rest, watch a movie, read a book, go in. So nature is the strongest force. So if we align ourselves with nature, we'll be in tune. Our life will have more of a flow rather than all this struggle, hustle. Nature is not struggling and hustling. And when we become in alignment, our lives also find more order, and we come out of the disorder and the chaos, and we get more into alignment. So that moon and that rhythm is the physical thing. As far as the emotional energies and how it affects us emotionally, now that's a whole nother story, But just thinking about the unification of it, that's one situation, you see.
Wow. There's so much that the listening audience has been learning about the principles of femininity over the course of the last couple of years, but it seems like every time we pull back a layer, there's at least 100 more layers to go, minimum 100.
It's 100 now because it's just the time in the universe. You see, women, we represent the mother of nature. Women are built to bring life forward. Without life, nothing is happening. All life comes from the womb. This is the portal of life. Sometimes you used to see the movies Star Trek, and they'll say, "Beam me up, Scotty," and they beam somebody 200 years into the future or 200 years into the past. But, talk about the portal, but the womb is the portal of life. And this is where life comes, and it comes through the woman because we're built in a special way to bring life, to nurture life, and to raise life. And if you look at the planet now, there's so much destruction of life, and that's why we have to step up. We're built to bring life, not destroy life. And so the world has basically been run this time by the male presence. And we know in nature that everything has balance. There's something called yin and yang. It's called day and night. It's called male and female. So when you only have the male presence and you don't have that female presence, we're missing a lot of love. We're missing the kindness. We're missing the generosity. We're missing the compassion. We're missing the femininity, the beauty.
Yes.
So the women must raise up to balance. And we don't say that women should be in charge and men should not be present. It's called balance. But when you say female, the male is automatically included. But if you say male, the woman is excluded. When you say woman, the man is part of the woman, the man is included. But if you say man, then the woman is excluded. She's out of the picture.
Yes.
So when you say woman, we cover the whole kit and caboodle. Okay. So we're with the family. We want our men, our children. We need the feminine presence. That's why so many women are rising up now. The womb work, the circles, all of this feminine energy is coming into the plant because we have to have balance.
Right.
It's just called balance.
Right.
And as far as all the destructive forces on the planet, guess what? It has to stop.
Yes.
It needs to stop. We know that men are powerful and that they have technology and they have all of that yada yada, but the mother's rising up because we want love on this planet. We want some more joy. We want our prosperity. We want our freedom. And there are more women on the planet than there are men. And guess what? Women are the mothers of men.
We are.
Right?
Can you quote your mother? What did your mother say about men? I was listening.
Yeah, I did
we're
ask her.
listening.
I was like, Mom, how do you deal with Dad? You know, the male force, you know, the men and the job and the work. She said, men, I am the mother of men. And when she said, I am the mother of men, it's like a light bulb went off, you know, because normally we feel intimidated by men or nervous when men come around. They're so powerful, but I'm their mother.
I said, I'm the maker of the man. Okay.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared. These are my sons. Just because they're big, they're still I still birth them. So when I deal with men, I respect them. I admire them. I love them. But I still know that I'm the mother. I'm not in fear. You know?
Ashe. And it's important to acknowledge all of these different things because it is the current state of the society that we're living in, where that role has been diminished. If we didn't have that diminishing of this role, I wouldn't need to have created Rise of the Divine Feminine podcast. We wouldn't have to have these conversations. You know, there's so many women who have been disconnected from themselves and really attached to this Western hustle and bustle type of culture that has caused indefinite damage. It's caused a lot of damage, not just to themselves, but to the structure of the family, because as you have stated, we are the base for our family network, for the whole entire web that represents the family. So the question that I have is, when it comes to these terminologies that you're using, you mentioned flow, you mentioned alignment. Can you give examples of how you've seen your life improve or alter or evolve once implementing this aspect of nature into your day-to-day?
Yeah, well, just keeping it basic. It's like when you're in alignment and you get to the bank and they say you're just in time. You get to the airport, you just made the flight. You know, you walk there, you meet somebody that you needed to meet. You're just there when everything is just working without you struggling. Right. You just where you need to be when you need to be there. And in an adverse situation, you just missed the bus. The flight just left. You just missed them. And you're like, you understand what I'm saying? The store just closed. Oh, we just ran out of that food. You know what? You know, look, can I have the guacamole? Oh, we just served our last bowl of guacamole. You just missed it. You know, that thing. You know, and you struggle, and you struggle, and you're trying, and you keep just missing it. You know, and it's disappointing, and it's terrible. But when they, girl, you just in time. Guess who just got here? And you're like, yeah, we got one seat left. Yeah, you know, like, thank you. It's working. You're like, you got your mojo working, you know, and all of your life can work like that. So now you becoming, you start to flow in ease and grace. And you're not sweating and stress, always trying to catch up. You're running behind. You didn't do that. You got to do that. And you feel like, when can you just woo-saw? You know, because if you notice, nature's not stressed out. You know, the birds, they're not, when you know, they don't eat so much that they can't fly. You never seen a bird so heavy that you want to take off, but they just ate too much. No, birds out of here, okay?
Right.
All of nature's like, look at the flower behind you. It's like, I am a flower. I'm gonna blossom when I feel. You say, hurry up and blossom. I'm not gonna hurry up and blossom. I'm gonna blossom when I feel like it, when it's my time. Exactly. And you can't like hurry. Yeah. You know, nature is flowing. We're
Yes.
women. We need to
Mhm.
put on our flow, our wardrobe. It's a
Mhm.
war out there. So put on your jewelry and your perfumes. I put a little dab of that rose oil on your nose so you're smelling
Good thing.
sweet roses all day. Even
Good
if
thing.
you're at the office, you're like, there goes that rose again. You're like, there goes
Mhm.
that rose again. The little things. It just means
Mhm.
that as women, we are the flowers of the universe, like that flower behind you. And
Mhm.
we have to love on ourselves. There's so many ways to love on ourselves. Put your blue lipstick or your red lipstick on. Put on your gold crown. Get your
Mhm.
earrings.
Mhm.
Take your beauty bath. Take a
Mhm.
walk. Do your exercise. Go on your fast. Put your music on. Burn your incense. Do the
Mhm.
things that make you feel beautiful, because when you
Ashe.
feel beautiful and you feel happy, then how can I serve the world?
Ashe.
What do
Ashe.
you need? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. It feels like three
Mhm.
o'clock in the afternoon. You
Mhm.
understand? Because I'm
Mhm.
taking care of the queen.
Well,
I'm a happy queen.
Queen Esther, we got to talk about this thing because, I am in a state of shock and awe because me at 3 a.m. I cannot function. I cannot speak. I don't know who I am. I don't know where I am. I don't know why I am. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, I am looking at you and I'm saying, this is Queen Esther. This is my elder, and it is 3 a.m. where she is. And I'm getting all of this radiance at this hour of the morning, night, whatever we would like to classify it. And I want to understand, how does that work? What are you drinking? From what cuppeth dost thou drinketh from?
That's that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful, my beloved. But I will tell you honestly, I don't have a lot of set rituals. I move by the day, by the spirit. I don't want to
Mm,
be like, oh, I didn't take my juice at 4, so I'm not going to function. No, if I have it at 4, I might have it at 3.
right.
I don't get caught up on people, places, or things, because when things change, then you're out of order. No, I'm in the order of now. It's called the living presence of now, right now. And the reason why I'll function well at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. because it's celestial, it's moon time.
Mhm.
In the daylight, the phone is ringing, people are knocking at the door, you have to handle things. Everything is busy. But in the
Mhm.
celestial hours, 2 in the
Mhm.
morning, 3, I have time to write a poem. My phone,
Mhm.
I have time to be with myself. I want to take a warm bath. I have time, and the
Mhm.
world is not pulling at me because it's
Yes.
celestial times. Now,
Yes.
interestingly enough, in Ghana, it's 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, but in New York, it may be 7 o'clock in the evening.
Mhm.
Like 7 o'clock, and then it's 11 o'clock. So I might be
Mhm.
starting a class at 11 p.m., and it's
Mhm.
only 7 p.m. there.
Yes.
So,
Mhm.
okay. So if I'm dealing with global, if you're in
Mhm.
London, if I'm in Dubai, they're 4 hours. So when you're dealing with the globe, we're at
Mhm.
different times all over the globe. You
Mhm.
understand what I'm? So I
Mhm.
can't
Mhm.
be like, I'm on New York time. No, I'm on Ghana time, but I got to connect with people in New York or in Atlanta.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I can just be thankful for all the hours of the day and all the hours of the night. You
Mhm.
know,
Give thanks.
I just give
I,
thanks. You
yes.
see what I'm saying?
I'm
Yeah.
seeing what we are seeing. For those who are listening to the podcast, this video is available on YouTube, so you can actually watch us and see us, and get a taste of Queen Esther, the Queen who is in the building right now. Um,
Mhm.
what we are seeing in real life, in real time, is the embodiment of feminine flow. That is what we are seeing, because this is what flow looks like. The opposite of that is when things have to be planned. I only have 30 minutes, at 2:30 p.m. And outside of that, I can't, I have to show you have to be here by 5:15. Otherwise, we cannot, squeeze like that. That concept is something that many are more familiar with. There is I think that there's a fear, and that's what I want to just bring up to you. And see what you would have to say about that. But I think there is a fear of submitting to nature because according to what we have learned based on man's systems, there's security in knowing what time things are, the order of things, how it's going to be arranged, how it's going to be delivered. There's a dependency that people have around that structure, right? That structure, no matter how forced it is, I know, it's the sense of control, the sense of knowing this is how it's going to look. This is where it's going to go. This is what time we need to be there. And this is what time we are finished. This is how.
The control factor, the fixed factor.
Yes.
Well, living in Africa, it's like I'm sitting here with you now, and it could happen that the lights go off. And it's like, oh, the lights went off. Okay.
Yeah, right.
So where's my candle? But imagine in America, if the lights went off, everybody would be like
scrambling.
Freaked out.
Yes.
Scrambling. So if the lights go out, we know that nature's still there. The stars are still out. I mean, the world is still functioning. So we don't put all of our hope in man-made stuff, because sometimes that stuff fails.
Yeah.
And when it does, it's like a catastrophe. So, in order to get my foundation, I decided to build my foundation on the truth of what? The breath of life. Okay. And let me tell you this, I didn't get the breath of life from my congressman. I didn't get the breath of life from my bank account. I didn't get the breath of life from my government. I got the breath of life from the divine. I mean, whatever you want to call it, it just doesn't come out of a shoebox. It's divine. It's magnificent. It's unique. You can't describe it. Where do we get life? So if I got life from the divine, what else is really important? I'm like, really?
That's it.
Come on now, So that's first and foremost. Where did I get my life? And look at all these life forms. We're all different. I mean, the divine is just so unique. It's like man tries to outdo nature, but can you really? Because can you make a sun for me? Can you make a moon? Can you make Jupiter? Can you make an alligator? Come on, make a mountain. Come on, make a crayfish. You can't do that. So even though I can live in this society, but society cannot really produce what the creation can create. Look at us. So I just put things in perspective. Yeah, it's good to have you be at your job and make your money and pay your car insurance. I get it, but that's not ruling my life. That's not where I get my life. You put things in perspective.
Ashe.
And really, you really have to give thanks for your life, because then, I mean, it's just like if you had a child and you carried your child for 10 months, they said it's 9 months, but it's 28 days to a lunar month. So it's actually 10 months to carry life.
Tell them.
Get all that math cleared up and get the truth is the truth. So if you carry life for 10 months, that's already a lot of shifting and changing. As a woman, you might know about that. Then after 10 months, then you birth the life. Whoa, good luck. Okay, hold on. Every woman is different, but it's not, I mean, it's not a party. You're not, hey. By the grace of the Most High, that life comes forward and you're like, okay, now the life is here. Oh, wait a minute. Now your breasts are oozing. Okay, and I got to get this breast milk thing going. Oh, ouch. Got to get that working. Finally get that working. And after a month or two, you finally get in rhythm with the baby. Okay, 2 months in. Okay, what about 2 years in? Baby still needs new shoes. You still got 5 years in, 10 years. So now the baby's 25 years. All right, mom, talk to the hand. Excuse me? Do you remember? I know you don't remember when I carried you for 10 months, breastfed you for 2 years, carried. So now with this grown-up being doesn't still say, Mom, I want to thank you so much, Mother. I love you, Mom. If you don't want to remember what Mom did, it's like a disrespect. I shouldn't have to remind you that I'm your mother, but I'll give my life for you. So if you're all, I'm at the computer, Mom, I'm at the job, I have to look at my IRS, I have to look at I'm like, hello, can you give me a phone call? Could you say something? Can I get a hug? Can I get a hug?
It's really important.
Can I get a hug?
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
like when you're so busy off now running around behind whatever, mhm, and
Mm-hmm.
you forget where you came from. You
Mm-hmm.
know what's going to happen is you're kind of going to miss your blessings. Okay. Because
Mm-hmm.
a mother can bless her children. She can say, that child right there, I bless that child. That child is
Mm-hmm.
she's harmonious. She's so respectful. She helps me when she can. She loves on me. She never forgets my birthday. She sends me flowers on Mother's Day or just because. I know my children love me. What will a mother do? I bless those children. I bless
Yes.
them.
Yes.
I bless your life. I bless your
Yes.
life, my beloved. You
Yes.
understand? But you're going to disconnect the mother. Haven't seen you in 3 months. Now I'm a problem.
Right.
Hey.
Right.
And you want the
Right.
blessing from the mother,
That's the Western way. That
but you're
is the
forgetting,
Western way.
but we forgot where it came from. So
Exactly.
it's important, as elders, you just don't want to run over your elders, the people that were there before you. This is
Mhm.
part of African culture dealing, who are ancestors? It's your
Mhm.
great grandmother, okay? Because if it wasn't for your great grandmother and your mom and your daddy would have never met. You
Hello,
know,
hello.
it's, it's a little
Let's
bit, you
take it
understand?
back. Yes.
Let's take it back,
Divine
right?
order. Okay.
Divine, that
And
part.
and and Queen Esther, thank you for breaking down these dynamics, because I know that even for the men, there are men who listen to my podcast, and even for the men who listen to my podcast, this is a very poignant reminder of the significance of mother. We can't we can't continue to play into the dynamic and the theorism of this man, this Father, Son, Holy Ghost type of structure, because it's been destructive. It's really been destructive. It's caused havoc. It's caused chaos, especially in the minds, the spirits, the hearts of the indigenous people, the indigenous woman, the indigenous man. And so I know this is helpful for many, many, many people who are listening right now. And you said so many wonderful things, about just coming back to source, and how being in Africa has impacted that flow, has impacted that ability to surrender to
Mm.
nature, to all things natural. It's just natural. Okay. We're not GMO in it. We're not going to put adhesives and all these different chemicals in it. Let's just keep it what it is. And me living in East Africa, you're in West Africa, I'm in East Africa. They'll probably be able to hear the chicken crowing outside of my house in just a moment, because it's early where I am too. All of these things are things that have deeply helped the soul to heal, okay, have helped the soul to heal and the soul to remember, because the soul has always known, right? But there is one thing that you brought up about, you were speaking about elders. And, I had already wrote this question down because there is a dynamic that I have learned in Africa about eldership, in living this African lifestyle, and the roles of elders here, that does not mirror what I have seen in the Western culture, in the Western society. And this is the podcast for the modern woman. So the modern woman has to know, just how things are set up and how those things are impacting her, and to continuously think about these things and explore these topics. But one of the things that I have observed is more or less a resistance to elders in the West, and not just because of the lack of knowledge of what elders represent, but because of the way that elders are, those older than us, are presenting themselves in this modern time. There are many instances that I hear about older people when confronted, with childhood traumas or just things that have happened in the past. There's a resistance towards wanting to amend or wanting to discuss past hurts. If there's a mother and a daughter, when it's the conversation around what didn't happen in childhood, that's over with. I don't want to talk about that. Let that go.
Okay.
There just seems to be a dynamic of a real resistance, maybe, from that element as a whole. Things like trauma, things like counseling, things like therapy, like those things that they don't really get the open arms from our elders per se. And so I'm just wondering, even for the person right now who is of age, who is maybe, in the 60-year-old bracket, in the late 50-year-old bracket, and pushing into that, what would you say they need to know about walking into a role as an elder, when you are ready to submit to your wisdom, ready to lead in this capacity, and walking into the role as an elder? What would you say? How would you speak on that?
Well, that's a very good question for me. I'm an elder, but I'm a youth at the same time. I must tell you, elder is a state of consciousness. When you get to a certain age, you have gone through more things, you have more experience, and it's really something to take to be proud about. It's an honor, but in the Western concept, because time, you see, time is money. So you don't really have time for elders. We don't really have time to talk. We don't really have time to live. We don't really have time to hug. We don't really have time to be lovers. We have time to have sex, but we don't have to be in love. When you're living in a system that's moving so fast, there's no time to live. You understand what I'm saying? So the elders are like, well, now that you're older, you really can't do stuff. So you're really not a help to them. Let's just you can just go to the old folks' home and just be over there, because you're coming more like an impediment. Where in African society, your elders are the ones who have been through it, or would become to be are your mentors, and they're taken care of in this society, and they are part of the society. It's a family society, whereas in the West, it's very compartmentalized. It's you and yourself, your neighbors over there, that's over there. It's a whole different structure and strategy, being in Africa and being in the West. But the truth is just the truth. You understand? And when people go through things and they come to a certain level of experience and knowledge, and they become older, now what do they need more than ever? They need more love. They don't run as fast as they can't carry as many packages, they can't do as much. So now is not the time to discard them. Because remember, when we were babies, we had to be taken care of. And anyone that doesn't want to take care of an elder, remember, at some point, you also will become an elder if you are graced to become an elder.
That's it.
Everybody doesn't make it to become an elder, but you would pray that when you become an elder, that people won't just discard you, but they will care for you and make things easier for you, and give you gifts and help to make your burden lighter. That would be the kinder thing to do, because if someone has gone through all their life taking care of children, taking care of grandchildren, and now they're tired, now they want to rest, and now the society has them in Walmart being a Walmart greeter trying to make a couple extra dollars, and you're 72. My God, what? We're going to work some more? They're tired. And you want to put in 6 hours? You want to relax. You've done your job already. You've done your work. You've raised your children, your grandchildren, the community, the church. You've given at the office. So when do you sit back and have a cup of lemonade?
Right. When?
And then and you're okay to do that. It's not like, why are you sitting down? And people say, Mom, sit down, Mom, relax. You're fine. Now is the time for your children to say, I'm going to give you a trip. You always wanted to go to the Bahamas. Let's give you a trip. Let's give you a cruise. When do you get your flowers? At the funeral? Forget about it.
Yeah,
it's after the fact. You understand? But in the wisdom of it, you have to give that to yourself. As an elder, you need to stay in shape. I don't care how old you are. You need to stay fit. Okay. As an elder, you need to stay healthy, because you can be sick and ill at 35 years old. You can be totally out of shape at 22 years old. and you could be in total shape at 80. So we don't have to go by the number game. How are you taking care of yourself? Are you drinking enough water? Are you taking your vitamins? Are you walking? Are you having loving relationships? Being around people that love and support you, and the people that are putting you down, you know, you understand what I'm saying? How are you loving yourself? Because the world will love you according to how you're loving yourself,
Ashe,
regardless of what age you are.
Ashe, Ashe,
You understand?
Ashe, Ashe,
Right. You understand what I'm
Ashe.
saying? Because,
Mhm.
elder, I feel, they said I'm an elder. I'm like, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, I'm an elder. Y'all want to go jogging? Let's go. Y'all want to get this y'all want to get this African dance on? What y'all want to do here? What? What? How we gonna roll with this? Because when I was a teenager and I saw the elders, I was like, wow, they sit at their feet, they're so wise, we learn so much, but many of them can hardly walk.
Mm.
They're wise, but they're like, either they're overweight, underweight, struggling, they got the cane, but they're so wise. And I was like,
Mhm.
I said, now, if I could get that wisdom while I'm still youthful, now that would be ideal.
Mhm.
Have a youthful body, but get the wisdom. So at a very young age, I looked to get the wisdom.
Ashe.
I took my first trip to Africa when I was 19 years old.
Wow.
19, I came to Africa for the first time. And when I got here, I was like, this is not a 6-week trip. I need some more time here. So at
Hello.
20, I went to the University of Legon in Ghana so that I could have my residency and I could live in Africa.
Wow.
So I
Wow.
was living in Africa at 21 years old
Wow.
because
I'm
I
my,
wanted
my,
to,
my body
I
is
wanted,
jumping at that. What would life be?
because I wanted to get wise while I was young. you
Yes.
know. And then after
Yes.
meeting up with Queen Afua and learning about the detoxing and the cleansing and the healing, I'm like, whoa, that just made me more youthful. So
Exactly.
now, pushing to 70, I feel good. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
I feel
Yes.
like an elder, but youthful at the same time.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. I give thanks. I give thanks. And I give thanks for you, Queen Esther. I think that many of us, who have walked on to this spiritual path kind of stumbled. We kind of stumbled into the path. We kind of were flung in many ways by our own ancestral forces onto this path, not really knowing what we were embarking in or why or how or where the answers were going to come from, but really being forced to trust our intuition, to trust our inner voice, to listen to what was coming from inside as our guiding light. And it's not always easy because there's a lot of frequency that tries to interfere with that stuff from the outside. And so I give thanks because even on this path, it is so refreshing to have guides, to have real elders, that we can come to and say, well, what do you think about this? What is your opinion on that? And someone who shares the same sense of values, the same core, the same foundation, the same love for humanity and love for Mother Earth, and appreciation of the feminine. And that's not something we can look out and see, by and large for many people, So it is an honor. It's a deep honor to have you not just here on this podcast, but just to have you in this existence, in this life plane, in this dimension. You could have been in any dimension. You could have come at any time. You could have been on any plane, and yet you are here. You could have picked Pluto. You could have picked Pluto. Okay. And said, you know what? Me and Pluto. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You could have picked the moon, but you chose to iterate on Earth during this time. And we so appreciate you. We are grateful, from the bottom to the top, we are grateful. So
I just want to say this really quickly.
yes.
All of that credit, I'm so thankful, but I would have to give that gratitude to mother and father. I have the best mom and the best dad. And I say this to all of us women, men. If you're a parent, Be a good one. Please be a good one. Love on your kids. Teach them the right things. Don't let them get away with stuff that's wrong. It's going to hurt them later. They're their own individual. They're going to grow up. But while you have them in your midst, teach them, because they're going to have to face this jungle at some point, and they're going to remember what you said. Don't just keep putting them in the room with the TV and closing the door. Sit down with them. Talk to them. What's on their mind? Energize them. Find out what they like. This is part of why I'm so strong, because my mother, she spoke into me. She spoke, these proverbs, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. And I'm like, Mom, whatever the mind conceive, you can achieve. She was just spitting knowledge all the time. And I was like, that's what she was talking about. And then my dad was a scholar. He said, you have to use common sense. That wouldn't even be logical. And I'm like, yeah, Dad, basic stuff. And that's the stuff that has really carried me, the wisdom of the parents. So those of us who are parents, they're you in the future. They are you in the future. So honor, honor them, love on, educate them, make them love to learn, let them teach them early. So when they get out there, they have a grounding, they have a foundation. They know what love is about. And this is why I focus a lot on love, because I really know what love is. It was in my house. My mom and dad loved each other. Me and my sisters, we love each other. So I'm all about the sisters. I'm all about that love, about that real love. People can't fool me when it comes to love. Either it is or it isn't. There are different shades of it, but I know what it feels like. So in my classes, I give the love out to the women that I teach, because I want them to know what real love feels like. Real sister, we need each other. The planet needs women right now. And the moon work is out there. That moon is out there every 28 days. And just imagine every full moon, all the women, let's say 5,000 women on the planet said it's a full moon, and we all gathered, not physically, but mentally. And said, we are the women of the planet, and we are praying right now for world peace. We're praying for happiness right now. We're praying for wealth. What if we all did it at the same time across the globe on a full moon? Not that complicated, but it could shift things, because it's all in our mind. Anything you see around you, somebody thought about it and made it.
Yes.
So if we want to think about something, why don't we think about having some more peace on this planet?
That's it.
Not just five. What about 5,000 of us? Women, because whatever men are doing out there, we're still their mothers. We're still their wives. We're still their dates. We're still their daughters. They can't cut us off.
Yes.
We got to sit these men down and get their mind right, because people will do what you allow them to do.
Period.
And you're in fear. When you're in fear, people will have you, ooh. But when you realize I'm your mother, you take a different posture.
Yes.
Because I'm not gonna let you all this foolishness. When mother sees something going wrong, she gonna go, what you doing over there?
Exactly. Come and sit down.
Happening? What's that? What's going on with that? We just can't be a mother. I see the thing wrong and I don't say nothing. What about our courage?
Right.
You understand? So this is why this is why I have my class that goes through every phase. New moon, I focus on clean up your house, clean up your body, get your food together, exercise. Crescent moon, get your mind together. Because your mind controls you. I am powerful. I am beautiful. I am learning. I am teachable. I am a woman. I am fabulous. You affirm it. Because whatever you believe and you think, that's what you create.
Yes. Now,
next thing, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was still on that phase 3. I focus on your spirituality. If we're not being spiritual, my beloveds, spiritual is what's happening in the moment. The spirit of we get caught up on religioso, but before we had what religion is the moon? What religion is the ocean? What religion is the sun? Before these religions came, nature was still functioning in harmony.
Yes.
This is spirituality. Yes. So we have to tap in when that small voice says, call your cousin, and you be like, I'll call her later. And you call her later. She said, I was trying to get in touch with you. I needed you to come through here. So something told me to call my cousin. But are we listening? How,
Yes.
how spirituality is personal,
Yes.
and we got to develop that intuitivity, that connection, because
Mhm.
that's our magic. It gets as
Mhm.
powerful as we feed into it.
Mhm.
And then the fourth phase is our abundance. Look, the universe is not broke. If we're
No.
broke, we're in somebody's broke program, because
Right.
you can't even count the leaves on one tree. Try
Mhm.
counting the leaves on, I didn't say the park, I said one tree.
Yes.
Okay. I say take a spoonful of sand and put it on a piece of paper. Now, can you count the grains of sand
That you
from
cannot,
one
you
one
cannot, you
one
cannot.
spoon? One
No, we
spoon.
can't. We can't.
One,
Not even a teaspoon. Okay.
not even a tea.
Not even a
So
teaspoon.
the universe is not showing up broke. So if we broke, what's up with that? Who
Yes.
told us to be broke? Stop
Now,
it.
now, Queen Esther, don't give them don't give them the whole kits caboodles. Hello, hello. Okay, we need to come in closer. Listening, ladies, listen. Queen Esther, as you all have heard, she can spit. She's like a lyricist. Okay, think MC Light and plus the divine feminine all in one. Okay, just think that, because she has bars. That's what we call bars. You understand what I'm saying? I'm here with my own handy dandy notebook because I have to take notes. Every time she speaks, I have to take notes. That's just how it is. The elders are speaking, the wisdom is flowing. So guess what we got to do? We got to write some stuff down so we can retain it and study it later on. And Queen Esther has an actual class. She has a forum where she goes into details about all of these different aspects of moon energy, of this spiritual energy. Now, for those of you who have been listening to my podcast, I have already told you on several occasions that this is just the appetizer. This is an order. You actually have to take some steps further to get to the main course. You got to eat real foods. You can't live your life off of these appetizers and hors d'oeuvres. You got to step in a little bit more. Where is the nourishment? Right? Where is the minerals coming from? Right? Not these little bites. So there is a lot more to learn about this moon energy. And if you are interested in learning more, Queen Esther offers a forum and a program that I will let her explain. So please tell us about, if they want to learn what they want to get to know who you are and what you're talking about. How can they lean in? How can they lean in? They hungry. They're hungry.
Thank you, my beautiful. Well, every full moon, because everyone sees that full moon, I have something called the Full Moon Forum. And I have special guests. I have one or two astrologers to come and tell us what's happening cosmically, astrologically. Are we in a retrograde? Because we just need to be in the bigger pictures. The Earth has a family, and the other planets are the family of the Earth. Okay. So we're on the Earth, and we're the Earth's children. We're the Earth's family, but the Earth also has a family. Okay. The bigger picture. So the astrologers let us know what's happening with the family out there and how that affects us, and just how to prepare and just how to be aware. So the Full Moon Forum is every full moon. So we can't lose a date. When you see the full moon, Full Moon Forum is going to be happening. I have two astrologers and I have a special guest that talks about something special. I've had Layla Delia on there. I'm having this Queen Makeda. She is the one who handles the World Beat Cultural Center in San Diego, California. And she does so many things with the children, with the community, with reggae music. I have a lot of powerful speakers once a month. And I'm going to be also including something called Light of the Moon Embracing Africa. So I also have one of my brother, he's a priest, and he speaks about the Adinkra symbols. And another brother's going to be teaching an African language. Full Moon Forum. Then I have my private classes called Healing by the Light of the Moon. Healing, because it's all about the healing. It's about being forgiven. It's about forgiving. my beloveds, I just want you to have a wonderful life. I don't want you to be stuck in what happened in 92. Yeah, it happened in 92, but we're here now. And people sometimes have an issue with letting go, but my best exercise for letting go is to breathe in and hold your breath. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Can you hold it till Tuesday? Then let it go, for crying out loud. You can't even hold your breath for an hour. Okay, not even a half. If you can't hold your breath, what can you hold? Absolutely. You want to hold on to the kids, you want to hold on to the man, you want to hold on to the job. You can't even hold your breath. So in life, you breathe in and you breathe out. Take it in and let it go. This is life. Breathe. You understand? And when you breathe in, enjoy it. Just when you are here now, this is why be here now. I'm all here now, sis. Don't be, I'm here now. What do I have to do at 9 o'clock? I'm here. What do I got to do at 9:30? No, I am all here now. Be in the here. You understand? So my class, Healing by the Light of the Moon, is starting the next one starts May 19th. And we start on the new moon. And we meet every 3 days. For every time the moon changes its phase, we meet so that we can become aware. What does a new moon feel like? What does a crescent moon feel like? What does a crescent moon look like? Yes. We should be able to look up at the moon and know what the crescent, what the first quarter, what the gibbous, then the full, because the moon ascends and then it descends. And we learn these things in the class. So we meet 8 times in the month so that we can be familiar with the phases. And now it starts to affect us more subtly. So one day I looked at the moon and I said, oh, Mother Moon, you look so beautiful. And the moon said, you look beautiful. And I was like, are you talking to me? She said, I don't see anybody else looking up here. And I was like, okay. Then one month I told her, look, I'm going to be kind of busy this month. I'm not going to be able to run my class. So I'm not going to be running she said, well, what about if I get busy and I don't show up for the next one? I was like, I get it. I'm on. Right. I'll be there. She said, what if I be absent? No, I said, I get it. I can't be absent either. So period. So when we start to get in tune, and when you and then I have my workbook. So the workbook has all the phases and, what are your plans? You write down what you're going to do. What do you want to get done between now and the full moon and the next new moon? You're charting your life around these phases to keep up with yourself, because it's good to keep up with the job and the kids and the church and everybody. But how about keeping up with number one? How about keeping up with this? Because when I'm together, I can do more for everyone. So that class starts on May 19th. Now, all you can do is just go to themooncall.com and you'll see all of these things, themooncall.com. Then you can know this course is Light of the Moon. You can register for that, or you can also register for the Full Moon Forum. And I also do GPS readings for those who want to get a little deeper. Okay. And your GPS is your galactic purpose signature. And that basically tells you what you came on the planet to do. What is your purpose? You didn't just come here.
Why are you here?
You didn't just come here to make the donuts. I don't mind having a donut, but you didn't just come here to make donuts or work at Walmart. Hey, what is your purpose in life? We need to know, what is our purpose in life? And that galactic purpose signature is what you signed up for. And when you hear that, you'll be like, okay, now I get it. Now it starts to make sense, because sometimes we're living life and we're doing the thing that we didn't come here to do. So it never feels comfortable. You have the people say, I work at this job. So I hate my job. I've been working there 20s, but I hate this job. But you've been there 20 years. So all of your internals are not happy, but you have convinced yourself you need to go there because what? Because of the money, because of the status, because of whatever 15 reasons, but internally, it doesn't feed your spirit. So go to themooncall.com and register for any of those courses. And I would be so glad to look for you on the Full Moon Forum or at Healing by the Light of the Moon. Yes.
Give thanks, give thanks, give thanks. Well, Queen Esther, it has been a deep honor. All of the nuggets, all the wisdom, all of the things that you have spoken about, they just deeply resonate with who I am, with who we are, with what it is that we're here to do at this time period in life. And I just want to thank you for everything. Again, I just want to thank you for everything, because you could have chose another way. You could have said, no, I ain't gonna do all this right here. There's a lot of work. I ain't gonna be doing all this. I got to sit down, write a book. Y'all want me to get organized, put my thoughts on paper. What y'all want from me? It is easier for me to dance in the sun and swim in the water and sing at the moon. I don't want to do all of that. And that's something that I see in my own self, as someone who is in the flow of life, who is perpetually in the wild, it's in the wild. I'm in the wild. I'm not domesticated.
All of that, but you may have a lot of people listening, and this is why, if I meet someone, I may not have time to do 6 months of therapy. I see you now, and I want to just speak into you right now and help you right now. So that's what encouraged me to write a lot of poetry, because I can say a poem in 3 minutes and just get you straight with one poem.
It. Can we get something? Can we?
Yeah. I want to say this. So I have a lot of people out there that may be going through some things, and I want to say this to them first, just for them to know how important they are, how valuable they are. So I wrote this poem. It's called You Made the Time. And it says, I just want to thank you, because I can clearly see that you didn't have to do it, but you created me. You made the endless sky, and you made the deep blue sea, but still you took the time to even make me. I could have been a buffalo running with the herd. I could have been an antelope or a tiny bird. I could be the wind blowing or a firm-rooted tree, but you had another purpose when you created me. I could have been a snail with my house on my back. I could have been a cow turned into a Big Mac. I could have been a shrimp or a yellow bumblebee, so I know you didn't have to do it, but you created me. You're always trying to help me grow, so you give me little tests, and I will do much better, and I'll strive to do my best. From a tiny seed in the earth, you make flowers bloom. You even made a special place for me right in my mother's womb. You gave me arms that I could hug. You gave me feet to move. And then you dropped some soul on me so I could feel a groove. You even gave me a brain so I could help co-create. So we went and made a TV so we could stay up late. You even taught me how to fight back, how to push and how to shove. But then you opened up my heart and you taught me how to love. So no matter where I go and no matter what I do, what goes around comes around, and it always comes right down to you. And though my life is busy, you know how life can be, but I'll always make the time for you because you made the time for me. And I just wanted to say that, my beloved, to our listeners out there, no matter what's going on, there's only one person like you. You were built from the creation with your 10 fingers and your 10 toes and your perfect eyes and your nose. By the divine, your life is so special. I just wanted you to know how valuable you are, no matter what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people, they feel depressed or lonely or whatever, but your life is a blessing. So I wrote that poem to get people out off the edge and let them know that, hey, I count, I am somebody, I matter. Unapologetically, I'm living unapologetically. Okay, that part.
Okay. Thank you so much, Queen Esther.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It has been such an honor.
Thank you
I'm
for
glad
inviting
that the
me.
podcast people can't see me. This is why I do it on audio, because I don't want nobody to see me with tears running down my face
But
and stuff like
why
that.
was your tears? Why was your tears running, my beautiful?
I mean, it's the vibration, it's the energy. It's like this is playing with my heartstrings. It's like music, it's a violin, it's a cello, it's something in their strings, and I'm feeling that vibration and feeling that energy. I told you I'm in the wild. We are in
Ah,
the wild. So it is in nature, it is just energy. When that hummingbird flies and lands on your finger, it is not accidental. That is just the energy that you are pulling in. So that is what I am feeling. I'm feeling the breeze from the butterfly. I'm feeling the waves from the ocean's mist. I'm just feeling all of these things. And so that's what resonates when you read that. So thank you for that. Thank you for that.
oh, thank you for allowing me. Because anybody that was feeling any kind of doubt or depression or anything, and people know I'm the fairy godmother. I'll get my fairy. Boop, hey, I just want you to have a beautiful life. I know that you can, and whatever we need to do, that's what we need to do. And if I can say one last poem, do we have time for one?
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
that first poem, it is meant to like help you see your value and stand up in your strength. And this poem is just to say to the Most High, to Mother Nature, to the creation, you are so wonderful, okay? And I want to be just like you. And this poem says, I want to be just like you. You're brilliant, you're bold, and you're beautiful too. You're excellent, marvelous, you're always on top, and you run your show nonstop. You fill me up with gratitude, and I digs your fearless attitude. People come and people go, but people never stop your show. Sirens blasting, cymbals clashing. Some folks asking why. The boxers are fighting, the alligators are biting, but you still painting in the sky. You never make excuses. You always do a dang thing. You don't get caught by the moody blues, and you always swing your swing. Sometimes you're very serious. Sometimes you laugh and joke. But your life is abundance, and you ain't never broke. That's why I want to be just like you and enjoy my life all through and through, a fabulous, glamour-luscious, swagger-rocking boo. And no,
Ashe.
you don't need no coffee to get your morning churning. Your moon is shining a shimmering silver. Your sunlight always burning. I recognize you and I'm going to shout it out. I'll give you your full props because you're a miracle maker. You always deliver and you run this world nonstop. That's why you are my MVP, my role model too. And that's why I choose to wear the crown because I want to be just like you. Ashe.
Hey,
Thank
Ashe,
you, my beautiful.
Ashe.
We could go on and on. They have to see me in the class. They gotta come to my hey. I got something for you.
Y'all can't eat all the appetizers, okay? You're gonna have to eat some
Okay.
meal. You're gonna have to get some
Okay.
food up in you, some sustenance. Okay, so this will tie you over until, but please give them the website one more time, and I'm going to put it in the description as well.
Yes, that is themooncall.com. Themooncall.com. And you can just hit those little three buttons, go down, you'll see courses, and you'll see Healing by the Light of the Moon, which starts May 19th. And that's a 3-month run because we go through 3 moons so you can understand, you can overstand, you can feel it, you can look at it, you can draw pictures of the moon, you can really get acclimated to the moon and the energies in 3 moons. And then there's also my full moon forum. Every full moon, I have that for men and women to come and hear the speakers and be connected. I also have my GPS readings. You'll see in that menu, but do find a way to connect. Women is critical right now. Our planet is having some issues, okay? And mother has to get in position to clear some of this stuff up, right? Okay. We want to have a happy life. We got children coming, grandchildren. We want the planet to, okay, all of that. So we're going to have to get in place to get things right and righteous. And that's the mother's job. And if we come together as a group around the world, we can affect change. We can make things happen. I'll be there with you. I'll be looking for you. We ain't taking no for an answer. Why? Because we are the mothers. So let's get in our seats and get into position. Thank you for inviting me, for sharing with your audience. I'm so grateful. And you look so beautiful. Lots of love to you and your family there in Tanzania. Ashe.
Ashe, Ashe. So I'm going to just take a moment to end things with our YouTube family. So YouTube family, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to make sure I keep this up so that the podcast family can also jump in and see it if they want to see this interview. So it will be listed on YouTube for all of you at the Sacred Feminine community. So I'll also post